Hey, Megan Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in today's show, the big interview is with David from the Milk Market, who told us all about the changes that have taken place since COVID-19. First up, though, the top stories in Limerick, and Munster Rugby are back in Pro 14 action. They take on Leinster this Saturday at 7:35 p.m. in the Aviva Stadium. Next up, €2.6 million in funding has been secured for Shannon Heritage, for Bunratty and for King John's Castle. Also during the week, Storm Ellen landed here in Limerick City and County and caused some serious amount of damage. Next up to our Out and About section, I caught up with Conor Fahy, aka Dáwna, to chat all about his brand new music project. It's the Limerick Post Show with me, Megan Scully. I'm delighted to be joined by musician Conor Fahy, aka Dáwna. Cunas tátu?
Yeah. Come on.
I said I'll have to check with you. Obviously, Dáwna being Gaelga.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I got it from the Irish meaning bold. So, or bowled. Bowled maybe is a better, kind of cheeky. Yeah, and then I was writing with Ryan O'Shaughnessy in Dublin, and we were writing songs for this project. And I was like, I didn't have a name. And then on the way home, I was pulled up in the Obama Plaza, and I texted him. I was like, the sun was setting as well, so like dawn or whatever. I kind of liked that idea too. And I was saying to him, what do you think of Dáwna? And he was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So that was back last year, maybe February or March. So that's where it came from, yeah. So
I like it there now. I like the mix there of the whole sun and then, of course, Dáwna being bowled as well.
Yeah. It's good. I like it anyway. It kind of suits the whole thing. And it gives that Irish spin too, So.
And you're absolutely no stranger to the music world. You've been playing for some years now, haven't you, all around?
Yeah, I play in kind of a two-piece called Fairhaven too. So we do a lot of like cover gigs, a lot of kind of folk, a lot of harmonies and stuff. So I was doing that before I started doing this as well. I'm still doing it, but I think all gigs are kind of put to a standstill at the moment. There's not much we can do.
I know. I don't have to say my heart goes out to the music industry and like everyone involved in gigs, the background team, the staging, the production, sound, everything. Like it's awful to see. Like it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I suppose the only probably solace in it is the fact that you're all in the same boat, that every musician is across the world. It's everyone, it's universal. So I suppose I hope that might kind of bring some bit of solace to the whole situation.
I think so. And I think, there's so many creative ways people are doing it. And I actually saw Lisa Hannigan is playing in Dolan's soon. They're doing like seated gigs. So look, there's great, like the one thing about the music industry is that they can follow like health and safety guidelines to a T anyway. So they're kind of equipped to make some sort of comeback, and Whelan's is coming back with a lower capacity, like 88 people, same thing, seated to a table. So I really have to commend all those promoters and event organizers for doing this, and making a way back safely. So I think if any industry can do that, it is the music industry and entertainment industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have to say, I'm raging. I had this idea and I shared it with a few artists there a couple of weeks ago, and it happened in the UK. And I was like, that was my idea, about having the festival in the field and having all the pods and everyone like buys the pod. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God, they either listened to my interviews or else they read my mind. And I'm sure I'm the only person that came up with that idea. But I was like, we need to get that happening in Ireland. It's so doable. We're just in a big field.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, once you do it once, it probably is high cost, but once you set it up and set the gigs going and going and going, it would be fine, it'd be great. Yeah, hopefully. We'll see which way it'll go, I honestly, I don't know when gigs will be back fully, and I didn't realize how much I missed them. Like the first month was honestly lovely. I was used to being on the road 4 or 5 nights a week, driving to God knows where, and I was like, oh, this break is lovely. But after 8 weeks, I was like, I am mad to just play some tunes and have some people around. But look, as you said, everyone's in the same boat. So all you can do is kind of wait it out and try to get creative in other ways,
As I said, with Dolan starting to do sit-down gigs, it'll only be a matter of time, I suppose, before that'll evolve more and more. Exactly. But anyways, Conor, explain to us all about Dáwna and the whole project.
Yeah, so I just had a lot of songs, literally in the last 7-8 years. Like I'm always writing. I'm always trying to write with other people. And I just had a backlog of these songs that weren't really right for the band. And I said, I want to do something, make a project for it. And so I brought out the first single last year in July. And the whole idea is like, I do a lot of the production myself and try and improve that as I go. So you can really see like the first single now, you look back at it, I'm like, oh God. But which is always the way, but at least like I can say there's a marked improvement per single and maybe get myself up to proper industry standard of production, recording, mixing, all that. And so and I wanted to be quite decent at it with this particular single, because I've had this song a long time, and I've done about 4 other versions of this song, and they were never right. So it's kind of cool to just get it right. I knew I'd have to really grind it out and get the sound I wanted myself at home. So the whole idea is just, learn to produce my own music, and then I'll be able to release and have no limitations of how many songs I can release, So
I think that's a great thing too. I suppose you're saying there, like, gigs were put on the long finger, but now you're learning to probably do skills that maybe you didn't do before because you always had someone else do them for you. So it's probably interesting as well, yourself getting to know every aspect of like production. I think like nowadays, especially, we don't just have one role in our job. We have like loads of roles, whether it's research,
I'm sure,
editing, presenting, singing. So like, I'm sure it's been a real interesting learning curve for you as well.
It's been unbelievable, to be honest. Like the amount I learned in the first 8 weeks. I've been doing a bit of producing for a while, but I did a marketing course, just an online one, and it was insane. Like within 2 weeks of how much that changed, where I could send my music and who I could get it in front of, and that just gave me a lot of confidence. I think I was doing the usual thing of maybe doing a cover here and there and hoping one of my artists that I really like aspire to be like would see it and be like, oh, good job. And that once I figured out how to get my music in front of people, I just I could stop doing that. I could stop this, what are you looking for? I can't even think what it's called, but looking for that proof, like that I'm, or that validation. That's the word I'm looking for. I can kind of figure out, I can get this music in front of people that will actually like it. So that was a big help during lockdown, just doing something completely different to music to help get it in front of people,
It's really interesting, actually. And it's like, God, you really use your time well.
Yeah, I was lucky because I'd signed up for it the week before anything lockdown, and the next thing, the Monday kicked in. I was like, right, well, I guess I'm diving headfirst into this, and you've all these modules to get through yourself. I mean, you just keep going and going through them, So it was great. Like I'm grateful for the time. It was different and helped my music to no end. I can't really explain how much it helped my music come on, I'm delighted. Yeah.
And now sure you'll be ready for when the gigs can come back. I think like they're going to be back. I feel like they're going to be back with a bang. I feel like it's just going to be one day we're all just going to see on social media like all these bookings, and it's going to be like, oh my God, they're all back. So that would be exciting. But I suppose I can't like, it's hard to ask what your plans are next, because I suppose you are waiting for the gigs to come back. But is there kind of when you're going to be releasing more music, or what's on the
So I have this single, My Heart, My Soul, that came out last Monday. And then I have the acoustic version of that the very start of September. It's on a Monday as well. And then I'll probably bring the next single out about 5 weeks after. I haven't announced the name of that or anything yet, but it's all recorded and mastered and everything. That's done. And then the following one from that, I have just about done. So that means I have it done. I need to mess it up again and then get it right. And then I'll send it off to get mastered and all. And maybe another, maybe 10 weeks down the line or whatever, I'm kind of going to go do single acoustic version of a single. And that would kind of give me a lot of space, and it means I can have a lot of time to do whatever kind of small video. I like to do a video with every kind of one, just a small one I do up myself. So that's kind of the next plan. That would probably take me to Christmas,
Absolutely.
And I have a gig booked in the Workman's in Dublin for October 23rd, but I don't know. That's supposed to be upstairs, but I don't know what the story is. They might put me in the main room. They might. The main room is doing like 50 people anyway, so that was what the capacity of upstairs was. So maybe I'll be able to do that. They haven't got back to me yet, but fingers crossed.
No, definitely keep an eye. And to keep up to date with all things music and Dáwna, where can we find you across social media?
I'm on Instagram, Dáwna Music, then Dáwna Official on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm pretty active on there. I do bits every day, when I remember. And all my music is there. You get me Dáwna on Spotify. I have 4 songs up there so far. Dáwna on YouTube. I'm pretty easy to find.
God, you actually are across everywhere.
Yeah.
Good. No, that's good to find.
So you have to be.
You have to be, actually. You genuinely do, because it's like you can't miss a beat with that when it comes to like this day and age, anyways, on social media.
100%. And it's great. I mean, it's hard to start. It's always the same with everything. It's so daunting to start each one, but then once you do it, like you've broken the ice, and it gets easier and easier the more you do it. Same as anything.
Absolutely. Conor, aka Dáwna, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you on the show today, and we're going to play your brand new track next, and thank you so much for sending it on to us, and it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks a million.
We'll chat to you soon. Take care. Here from the Limerick Milk Market. I'm joined by David. David, let's go back to when the milk market had to shut. What date in March was it that you got told it has to stop?
I think the first Saturday we were closed was the week after 21st. So somewhere around the week kind of just after 21st of March, different industries were closing down, and one thing that they announced was markets as well, so that we were closing from then on.
I have to say the milk market is such a special place in Limerick. I think everyone that comes here, even I find visitors, you always say go to the milk market because it's become such a special part of Limerick and it's kind of in the heart of the city, and I think you created such a strong community. So how were the traders and customers when you had said, look, we have to close our doors?
Yeah, look, it was tough for everyone, I think, but everyone was kind of in the same boat, I think, as well. So it was very worrying, and it was, for lots of reasons. But I think everyone kind of was supportive of each other and said, look, we'll get through it, and as soon as we're able to get back, we'll get going again and stuff like that. But yeah, there was a lot of community spirit there and stuff like that, so that was the positive side of it,
And I was saying there's a lot of local traders that come in here week in, week out, and one thing I saw happening during lockdown, you said had actually been planned beforehand, was getting people to shop locally and buying produce off the producers here, and I think it was every Thursday you could come in and get your products. I have to say, that seems to do really well. Can you tell us about that idea?
Yeah, so it's a concept that came from Cork called Neighbour Foods, and a trader mentioned it to us last summer that it might be something we've tried to get the online food thing going before, and we've run into a couple of difficulties. So we went down and visited the lads in Cork last summer, and we said, look, fantastic, we just need to get everything in place. And over the period of a couple of months, we were approaching different people and institutions to see if we could partner up and pull it together as a stronger offering. And then we kind of spoke to Deirdre Meghann, who is fantastic, and she does great work with local producers. She immediately loved the idea, and she was on board, which was great because we wanted someone that was going to be very passionate about it. So we were working on it in the background for a number of months, and Deirdre, in fairness, was doing all the programming side and getting the traders together. And she mentioned when COVID was kind of getting a bit more serious, look, we really need to push ahead now. So I have to take my hat off to her. She did an amazing job pulling it together. We just played a smaller supporting role to that. But she did an amazing job pulling the traders together, and the traders as well, to be fair to them, because it's a big task and a big change for them, because they're so used to trading in a space where they know the customers by name, they know their habits, know what they want before they come to the stall. So doing it online where it was completely cashless was a bit strange for them, but again, everyone kind of took brave decisions during it and said, look, we're going to go with this. And it was great to see the success of it, and again, well done to Deirdre and the team for doing that,
And I think it's brilliant as well, because I love seeing on social media everyone sharing their cheese and their hams and their meats and their chocolates and their everything, and I think it's really lovely and important, of course, to shop local. Now, can we talk about when the milk market was allowed to open up again and welcome people back?
Yeah, so it was announced from the 18th of May, if I'm not mistaken, that farmers markets specifically could come back, and we had actually pivoted to Saturday's a farmers market with street food and crafts. In March we had kind of restricted hot food. We closed this area upstairs, and it was very much a farmers market in the first or second week of March anyway. So when we came back, we had a lot of stuff in place. We had the security at the gate, we had the sanitizers and the one-way system, so it was just kind of putting incremental improvements on that. So again, there was a few other bits and procedures that have been updated since then that we put in place. So it was a bit strange, I guess, coming back, but it was also lovely because you hadn't seen people for nearly 2 months. And traders were delighted to be back to see their regular customers, and it was again a big part of the market that people may or may not know is you could have people living on their own, that this is a big part of their week to come down and chat to the traders. They know them by first name in most cases. They'd be asking how's your family, how's this, how's the dog, so it's a very community-oriented place. So it's lovely to see that back. It's obviously very different, very challenged at the minute, but it's lovely to be back in some capacity.
I have to say, I think it's great. I've been here now a few Saturdays, and just to see the way you run operations, I know you check the amount of people that come in and come out. There's hand sanitising stations dotted around everywhere, and I think the precautions are really there in place. And I'd say the sense of community. What do you think is next now for the milk market going forward?
We have a couple of different I suppose stakeholders we're talking with. We have another offering at the potato market as well at the moment. Some of our crafts and hot food vendors have moved there because obviously space is a problem in a social distance world. So we're doing the potato market on Saturdays 10 till 3, and you have some crafts and gardening stalls, street food, and you have games starting tomorrow actually.
Brilliant.
So there'll be kids games area there from tomorrow for the 7 weeks into September. So that's kind of the immediate future. Fridays and Sundays you've kind of an open air cafe type of an experience here with the pavilion units and some of the perimeter cafes too, and you've the Vito Vintage Shop and John the Edge clothing shop. We're also speaking to different partners around doing fairs. We did our first record fair since COVID occurred last Sunday. That went very well. So we might look at doing another one in a couple of months' time. We're also speaking to the Arts Limerick group that we worked with previously, seeing how we could do something, again, fitting in the structures and procedures. And we've had some interesting inquiries as well from organisations that wouldn't ordinarily look at the market, but because of the open air nature of it, it's bringing interesting possibilities into play, you know.
I have to say, it's an absolutely wonderful asset to Limerick City, in the heart of the city, and it's full of, as you say, community, local people, everyone, visitors. And I have to say, thanks so much for chatting to us and letting us know about Limerick.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For these stories and so much more, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully. This is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.